Welcome back, everyone. It's Eric from Rare Candy here. Today we are back with another entry into our testing round series, taking a look at some more Darkness Ablaze decks for the upcoming post-rotation format. And so in this video, we're going to be showing off Scizor VMAX and Blaziken. I think two kind of more under the radar cards that are coming out in the set. Definitely still want to show them some love, see if they have any potential. But here in this video, I'm going to be on the left playing the new Scizor VMAX, and then we have Haley Brokaw on the right. She's going to be playing the new Blaziken. So this should be, I think, on paper, at least an interesting matchup where, you know, the Scizor, it has all these tanking options, but it's weak to fire. But I have some copies of things like Weakness Guard and Energy in the deck to maybe help with that a little bit. But then on the flip side, of course, Haley can hit everything in my deck for weakness, but she's kind of a stage 2, making her a little less consistent than Scizor. So I think they both sort of have like an edge on each other in different ways. But we'll have to see which one is ultimately going to come out on top here. But let's see. It looks like Haley is going first, if I'm seeing correctly. Unfortunately, she does not have an energy in hand. That's the big thing. She really wants to see turn 1 with this deck that she's playing. But she does have a Pokemon communication, so I do want to see her at least get down another Torchic here. And here you can see she is going to communicate that Blaziken back into her deck here. Probably just taking a peek also. Just seeing what's in the deck, what's prized, all of that good stuff. And okay, I do see at least... Okay, I see a couple Torchics in deck, so luckily she didn't prize a bunch. So yeah, this probably would have been a better turn had she been going second, because the big thing with this Blaziken deck, you really don't want to miss a manual attachment. Like the attack on Blaziken, it can accelerate energies, but it's just getting that first Blaziken up and running that's kind of the thing that can sometimes be tricky. But luckily for me, or luckily for her, in my deck, I can't really easily take a one-hit knockout on turn 1 here. So it looks like I'm starting with a Scizor V, going to communicate the VMAX back into my deck. Let's see what I'm going to grab. Okay, another Scizor V, that seems fine. Looks like I have a good bit of cards in hand as well. Looks like I have another Pokemon communication. And it looks like I'm debating what I want to do with it. But here it looks like I'm thinking about putting Zamazenta back in deck. I think I do change this to Crobat if I remember correctly. Okay, yeah, here you can see I'm like, wait, I should do Crobat because if I Marnie, then I could potentially draw back into the Crobat more easily if my hand's dead. Whereas I don't really want to draw back into that Zamazenta I had in hand. Pretty bad card in this matchup. So here I'm just going to grab myself a Zacian V just to fall back on that Intrepid Sword attack if need be. And just going to Marnie both of us. So, of course, Haley's going to get a new hand of 4. I get a new hand of 5. I'm going to get down a Metal Energy. Looks like I'm debating going for a Quick Ball, maybe to dig with a Crobat or something like that. But I really don't think there's anything in particular I need, so I'm just going to hang on to my hand here. I'm going to hit this Torchic for 30 with that first attack on Scizor. Actually a pretty good attack in this matchup because it can discard a Special Energy or a Tool card. But here, Haley's going to put that Lucario GX back into her deck with that Pokemon communication. And let's see, she could go for a Jirachi. If she has her own Crobat V in deck, because that is in this particular list, she will be able to go for that. But here she is going to go for the Jirachi. I definitely like that. And so one thing I did forget to mention too, guys, is that both the deck profiles for both these decks have already been posted on the channel. So if you guys do want to see like the individual counts of everything that is going to be played here, I will have links down below in the description if you guys want to learn more about each individual archetype as well. So it looks like she is going to get down the Jirachi. She has the Scoop Up Net as well, so that's actually really good. She can sort of heal off that 30 damage that I kind of poked at her Torchic with. And so here she really definitely needs a supporter off of this Stellar Wish. Her hand is not in the best spot after that Marnie. And I don't really see anything. I think I see a Quick Ball, a Giant Bomb, and a Rare Candy. Okay, so the Quick Ball is definitely good. So if I do take a knockout, she will be able to Quick Ball for like a Crobat or, you know, a Lucario GX. But it looks like she's going to go for a Quick Ball, discarding that triple acceleration energy. She might even grab another Jirachi here just to maybe, you know, as some insurance in case I knock out this active one. She wants another way she can, you know, search for some consistency cards. But here she's just going to preemptively go for the Lucario GX here. But here she looks like she's a little bit conflicted, saying, you know what, I'm going to get Jirachi. I really don't want to have this 2-prizer on the bench until I absolutely need it. So I definitely like that from Haley as well. I think that's okay here. And then from there, just going to see a pass. Oh, it looks like, okay, a pass. But here I draw into a Weakness Guard energy, and that's absolutely massive, guys, because the Weakness Guard energy is going to eliminate that pesky fire weakness my Scizors have. And that's going to allow me to tank a bit better against these Blazikens. That's really the big thing Haley has going for, is that she can hit everything in my deck for weakness. But once I start to take that away and find all of those Weakness Guard energies, that's going to be, you know, a bit problematic. So the only issue with my current board now, though, is that, again, everything I have on the bench is also weak to Blaziken. So I do need to be careful about not over benching things. I know I did play down my hand all the way there to draw as many cards as I could with Crobat V. So that's why I did bench like the extra Lucario Melmetal, even though I probably don't need it here in this matchup. But here it looks like I'm just going to end my turn with an Intrepid Sword. So I guess I don't like the state of my hand. Not really too much reason to attack into Jirachi. The 30 damage is pretty irrelevant. So here it looks like Haley does find herself a Professor's Research. That's awesome. So she can, of course, discard her hand, get back into this game a little bit. And she does have a Quick Ball as well, getting rid of a Giant Bomb. So imagine maybe we'll just see another Torchic. I think that's probably what I would like to see. She could go for Rangaroo. She could go for Lucario GX. But I like the Torchic here. I think that's fine. So the big thing she just absolutely wants to find is energy. That's the big thing she's really been struggling with, because again, this Blaziken deck, it needs those manual attachments desperately. So yet again, no energy in sight. That's actually just such bad luck for Haley. Like, she's doing everything right here. You know, she's thinning out cards of her deck and all of that stuff, and I think maximizing her chances to find what she needs. But I think the only other thing we might want to see is maybe see her go for a Rangaroo and try to dig one card deeper to maybe get an energy. I think that's really what I do want to see here. So she has that Lucario, she has a Quick Ball. Like, I almost kind of want to see her discard the Lucario to go for a Rangaroo. I think that's kind of what I want to see, but here she's saying, you know what, the odds of me hitting my energy off that one card, probably not too great, so I'm just going to save this hand. But again, I think I would have rather have seen her go for that and try to get that energy. So here, I'm just going to take a knockout with Scizor V. I really don't need to do too much right now because this Weakness Guard energy is protecting me. So I'm cool with just kind of sitting on my hand, taking my time here, getting some cheap prizes along the way. So she is going to get a Blaziken. And here she is going to Quick Ball as well, it appears. I think she's thinking about playing down cards from her hand to maybe potentially use Erica's Hospitality. So here she is going to get down another Jirachi. Yeah, she almost put down the Lucario GX, but I like keeping it in hand just because she doesn't need to bench it to play the Ericas. And if she can find what she needs every turn without having to bench these two prizers, that would definitely be ideal for her. She doesn't want to give up any cheap prizes. But here she's going to, looks like Stellar Wish first. I'm not sure what she's trying to get here. Oh, she's probably just trying to thin trainer cards out of her deck, maybe to maybe find what she needs better with Erica. Because again, the big thing she just really wants is energy at this point. So here she is going to go for a Marnie. So let's see how many cards she's at in hand at this point. She might actually have to bench the Lucario now if she wants to play the... Okay, but here she's actually going to go for the Erica, discard the Erica, go for that Ranger. I like this too because she can actually still refill her hand size and not have to bench this Lucario. And the Ranger is also sort of a consistency booster of its own. So from there, we'll probably just see a Marnie, and with that a Ranger in play with that Primate Wisdom ability, that's going to effectively allow her to draw up to 6, really, when you think about it. So I would imagine there's no way she misses an energy at this point. She's dug through her deck a good bit now. So she's going to go for the Marnie. You know, my hand was pretty stacked. I wasn't really playing that many cards, so definitely a good move from her part. And looks like I drew some pretty decent cards. I found a Metal Core Barrier. That'll definitely be an annoying card in this matchup. And Hilly does actually find herself a Fire Energy, which is really, really good. So she can no doubt attach that to her Blaziken. That seems good. Here it looks like she's going to Primate Wisdom before she decides on anything. And okay, so unfortunately that Marnie really didn't do her, you know, too much good either, though. So here, I think we'll just see her attach that Fire Energy if I had to guess, and then probably just pass. She does have that Scoop Up Net, but, you know, I don't know if she needs it necessarily this turn. She could Scoop Up Net the Jirachi into another Jirachi, like preemptively, but I don't see that making a big difference between doing it now and next turn. So I think I'd rather just kind of have her save this hand. So here, okay. What am I looking for at this point? I think just more Weakness Guard energies and Metal Core Barrier. So found one of them. Metal Core Barrier is a super annoying card for Haley's deck just because its base damage output is kind of mediocre when she's not hitting for weakness. But the Metal Core Barrier, you discard it at the end of your opponent's next turn, but it reduces the damage done to your Metal Pokemon that turn by 70, which is insane. So the big thing I'm looking for at this point is going to be my Scizor VMAX, because the VMAX can aid my like tanking potential a little more as well. And from there, really not sure what else I really want. So I'm just going to take the knockout on this Jirachi. This one Scizor V is kind of putting in work. Scizor V really isn't the best attacker, but you know, it's pretty decent at picking off these Jirachis. But the thing she really wants to find here is a supporter, because her hand is not in a good spot right now. So I kind of want to see her do that. Go for that Stellar Wish. Hopefully find herself a Marnie. I think it's probably the card she wants to see. She probably doesn't want to discard that Blaziken. But yeah, so definitely want to see the Stellar Wish first and foremost here. Not really sure what we're discussing, but and I think I saw Pokemon Communication. If that's the case, she might have to go for Oricorio or like a Crobat or something like that, because she does have both of them in this particular list. So here she is going to go for the Communication. Going to put back the Kangaskhan. Kangaskhan also maybe could be a decent backup attacker at some point here. And there is going to be an Oricorio GX. So this is actually one of those turns where if I'm in Haley's spot, I'm thinking, even if I get my Blaziken up and running, do I actually attack this turn? Because the Metal Core Barrier, like, it's like, is it even worth attacking? I think she attacks if she finds a giant bomb to go with her Blaziken and Twin Energy. So if you guys aren't too familiar with the Blaziken, though, it's of course a new Stage 2 from Darkness Ablaze, and its ability makes it both fire and fighting, which is great because, as you can see, she can knock out, or I shouldn't say knock out, but hit anything on my field for weakness. And also the attack for a fire and 2 colorist is 130, and you attach a basic energy from discard to one of your Pokemon. And so that's really good when she's hitting for weakness. But the issue right now, of course, that Weakness Guard energy, the Metal Core Barrier, I'm just reducing so much damage right now. So let's get a peek at her hand there. I do see a giant bomb. She unfortunately did whiff the Twin Energy, though she is going to get down another fire energy on this Torchic. I do like that as well. I think that's fine. And then from there, we might even just see a pass, or we could see... Yeah, I think maybe just a pass is fine overall here. Yeah, at this point, just really not sure what route she wants to go with this hand. And here, again, we're discussing something. I'm not exactly sure what, though. Something about the fire energy. Really not sure. I mean... Oh, did she not Primate Wisdom yet? Maybe that's... Maybe she should Primate Wisdom before attaching the fire energy? To maybe hit Twin Energy, theoretically? Because she has the Scoop Up Net and the Giant Bomb, so... Yeah, I think if I'm in Haley's spot, that seems kind of okay. but at the same time, she doesn't have energy and the discard to actually accelerate. So yeah, I'm really not sure what the deal is. So here she is going to just attach to this Torchic Pass. I like that. Unfortunately for Haley, I do find myself a Scizor VMAX here and energy and a Metal Core Barrier. Oh my god, this feels so bad because right now the Scizor VMAX, its first attack for a Metal Colorless does 90 and reduces the damage done to it by 30 on your opponent's next turn. Between that and the Metal Core Barrier, that's a minus 100. And then with the Weakness Guard energy, that's another minus 130 on top of that effectively. So this, yeah, the Scizor is just reducing so much damage. This is a really just bad turn for Haley. So yeah, she's just kind of been struggling to get her attackers up and running. Again, I think she's been doing like all the right things here. Like I think her lines of play have been fine. It's just you know, a little bit of bad RNG once in a while. And she does find a Twin Energy, but this is one of the situations where like I don't even know if I would have promoted the Blaziken. But here she is going to Primate Wisdom. Oh no, she drew an extra card, that's what it was. Oh, but I guess I could see why she would promote the Blaziken here, because she can actually get 3 prizes. Or if she wants, she could get 2 as well. So she has the Boss's Orders in hand and the Twin Energy, so she can actually knock out Lucario Melmetal GX, the Scizor V, or the Zacian V on the bench. So I think it just has to think, you know, what route do I want to go? Do I want to knock out 2 3-prize Pokemon to win, or maybe a 3-prizer and 2 2-prizers? So I think the obvious advantage to knocking out the Lucario Melmetal is that she gets an extra prize, and she just has to deal with 1 Scizor VMAX eventually to win. But the downside is it doesn't really do anything to hurt my board state. That's really the big issue with that play. So if she has Bulbasaur, she could even attack into this Scizor, knock it out preemptively, or bring up the Zacian and knock that out. So she has a lot of options here. So I'm almost thinking like, okay, so she is going to go for the Lucario Melmetal. I think this is honestly a tough decision. I kind of wouldn't have even minded the Scizor V as well, but here she's just saying, you know what, I'm just going to deal with these, a couple of 3-prizers, and we're just going to win that way. And here it looks like she is going to knock out Lucario Melmetal, so definitely nice. She can hop back into this game. It's going to allow her to play around that Metal Core Barrier, so it's going to get discarded from play. And she's going to find herself, looks like a Torchic, an Energy, and Rare Candy. Now, the issue with that turn she just had is she didn't have energy in the discard pile to actually accelerate, but here, I'm going to reset Stamper and Boss's Orders up. This looks like the Lucario GX. Yeah, that's a pretty oppressive turn, because now I'm going to limit her hand down to 3 while taking away her draw options here. And then from there, all I need to do is knock out 1 regular Pokemon to win the game. And my board's just kind of so stacked at this point, there's no way I can't really knock out a Blaziken on the following turn. So of course we saw the first attack on Scizor before, but the second attack on Scizor VMAX here, it's the same attack cost of the second one from Scizor V, but it does just a flat 190. So that is going to be enough to knock out the Lucario. Gonna get down, looks like a Chaotic Swell. And I could potentially play down my hand in preparation of like a Marnie or something. I basically just want to ensure that I can draw into energy. And there I go. I find an energy to get on that Zacian V. And now we kind of have like a checkmate scenario here. So even if Haley somehow knocked out my Scizor VMAX, which she's not going to do, I do have another attacker I can just promote and take the game. So you can see Haley's hand, not too great after that reset stamp. So the Scizor VMAX set going to take a pretty decisive game 1 here. Haley did get 3 prizes, of course, and tie it up towards the end. But, you know, just whiffing those turns of energy for so long at the beginning just really put her too far behind, I think, to really keep up there in this particular matchup. So, of course, I mean, guys, that's just kind of the issue with Stage 2 decks in general, is that, you know, sometimes they can be a little inconsistent in the early game. But also, too, Haley was never able to find her Giant Bombs. And Giant Bombs that would have really allowed her to sort of, you know, make up for some of that lost damage she was losing to Weak Guard Energy and Metal Core Barrier. And it's actually like kind of not fair, because I was able to find all of my Metal Core Barriers, and she plays like a very similar count of giant bombs in the Blaziken deck, so it was kind of unfair. I was always able to find my Metal Core barriers, whereas she could like barely ever find her giant bombs. Like I think she had them 1 or 2 times, but they would have been on turns where they would have been irrelevant. So if the giant bombs can play a bigger factor in here, and maybe she can get set up a little bit quicker, you know, before I find my weakness guard energies, I think the Blaziken deck actually can do pretty well here. I've actually played a number of games with both these decks outside of this, and the Blaziken deck actually can roll over the Scizor deck if it can't find those very important like damage reduction modifiers. So we'll have to see how that is going to go in the series. Of course, it's a best 2 out of 3, so Haley definitely still has some time to bring it back here. So I would imagine she's going first in this matchup. We'll have to see. She's going to draw for turn. And not much to really do, so just a pass. But fortunately for her, I can't really take a good one-hit knockout very easily with my deck. I would need like a Zacian, 2 Metal Saucers attachment, and it might be tricky to get all of that up and running. So I'm just going to concede to the 2-shot with the Scizor VMAX here. Or, I'm sorry, the Scizor V. So here I have to think at this point, do I actually am like under the threat of being knocked out by a Blaziken. So here I am going to Dead Change. And I do draw into a Metal Core barrier, and that's actually like kind of a conflicting thing right here, because it's like, what are the odds that Haley can actually attack into me on this next turn? Because if she can't attack into me, I don't want to play this Metal Core barrier. But if she does attack into me, I lose my Scizor V. So I have to just kind of weigh the options, like, what are the odds that she can actually get this guy up and running? But here I do decide, you know what, I'm going to play it safe. We're just going to attach the Metal Core barrier. Don't want to give up these 2 prizes sort of unnecessarily. We have plenty more Metal Core barriers, even if I have to discard this one. So from there, I'm just going to do 30 to this Torchic. And there is the Twin Energy. There's going to be a Kangaskhan and a Crobat from Haley, so she is going to be able to draw until she has 6 cards in hand. We're going to see another Torchic, a Rangaroo. And it looks like she is going to use that Primate Wisdom ability here. Looks like putting a Fire Energy back on the top of her deck. And she did draw into a Quick Ball. That's kind of unfortunate because she actually probably would have maybe wanted to toss away the Fire Energy. But here at this point, she just has to ask, what does she want to do at this point? So she does have a Quick Ball. I imagine she might want to go for Jirachi. So it looks like she has a rare candy, some sort of fire Pokemon, so maybe a Combuskin, I might want to say. I can't quite tell. And then a Scoop Up Net. So it's just tough because she wants all those cards that are in her hand right here. So maybe if I was in her spot, I would have maybe Primate Wisdomed a different card. So maybe getting rid of Scoop Up Net is what I would like to see here, I think. Because she has plenty more Scoop Up Nets where that came from. And realistically, she doesn't really want to Scoop Up Net this turn anyways. So it looks like she's thinking about the rare candy. I'm really not a big fan of that, though. The rare candies are a very precious resource. Not that Scoop Up Nets aren't as well, but you need rare candy just for your deck to even function at the bare minimum. Whereas the Scoop Up Net's more of a luxury. So yeah, she does have the Jirachi, but maybe she's thinking, well, okay, I think I see what she's trying to do. She's saying, you know, well, if I whiff my Stellar Wish and I don't get a supporter, I need to Scoop Up Net and save this Jirachi. So I think that's maybe the line of thought here. And in that case, I could kind of see that. And she does find herself a Professor's Research. So that's definitely good. So she can actually rare candy into this Blaziken and then just research this hand away. Oh, but now she can't because she discarded the Scoop Up Net. Oh, that feels so bad. Or maybe that's Combuskin in her hand, I want to say. Yeah, I think that's actually Combuskin. So maybe actually getting rid of the rare candy was fine. And so here she does have the Scoop Up Net and the Research. So definitely she should burn the Scoop Up Net no matter what. I think I want to see her maybe save the Oranguru or pick up the Jirachi, one or the other. So she is going to just pick up the Oranguru, put it back down, and now she can actually get another Primate Wisdom off this turn if she chooses to. So this hand is still working out here. So discarding the rare candy in hindsight, I think it's probably fine because I forgot this was a Combuskin in her hand, not Blaziken. So yeah, I think Haley might have done the right thing in this situation. So she does have a Giant Bomb in her hand, really not worth playing. And here she has found another Combuskin. That's actually really good too, because since she discarded the rare candy, she needs a way at, ensuring she can always manually evolve here. So that's definitely good for her deck. But from here, I think I just want to see her pass. There's really nothing else I think is very important for her to get down here. And she could be thinking, do I want to go for a Giant Bomb and put that down on something? Do I want to Quick Ball for something? But I really just want to see Haley hold on to her hand here. I think that's what we're still discussing at this point. But she really wants to, I think, save the Quick Ball. Oh, she's thinking about Primate Wisdom because she hadn't done that yet. Okay, that's fine then. Yeah, so at this point, I think she just passes. Okay, so I do need to discard that Metal Core Barrier. But unfortunately for Haley, I do find Weakness Guard energy this turn, which is super annoying for her deck to deal with. And I do find another Metal Core Barrier, which is also really problematic, and a Scizor VMAX. So I have the whole Wombo combo, so yeah, we're reducing damage by 260 effectively this turn. Just because I'm more than likely going to knock out Jirachi with the first attack on the Scizor VMAX here. So that's just so oppressive. So Haley just has to sacrifice something this turn. I think I want to see her get rid of the Oranguru. Just let that sort of go down here, or the Kangaskhan. I really just do not want to see her promote this Blaziken at all. Or the Combuskin in this case. Because she's literally doing no damage. Or that's not true. Like she's still doing damage, but she's only doing 30. So it's literally just not worth attacking with this Blaziken. So she's going to get rid of Marnie, it looks like. And then it's going to communicate her Quick Ball target back in, probably for Blaziken. Yeah, I really just do not like this play this turn. I really just wish she would have promoted the promoted the Kangaskhan or the Oranguru. Let those go down while she continues to set up her Blazikens. Oh, but she does have the Giant Bombs. That is the one thing that is kind of going her way here. But again, guys, like, only hitting for 30 is, I feel like, almost not worth this Twin Energy that's going to go down. Almost not worth this Blaziken that's going to go down. But she could be thinking, you know what? Eric hasn't played Boss's Orders yet. Maybe I want to get in some hits before he, starts gusting up stuff. So it's just overall kind of a bad spot for Haley to be in here. So here we're going to see her get rid of a Fire Energy with this Quick Ball. Here she's going to grab a Zigzagoon, and she might just be discarding that with the Research. I mean, Zigzagoon maybe could be relevant in this matchup. It's more for the ADP matchup, which is why it's in this list, but with Scizor reducing so much damage, you never know, this Zigzagoon might be handy, but she might just be discarding it with the Research here. But at this point, really not sure what else she really wants. She has her Giant Bomb, she found her Blazikens, energy, all that good stuff. So at this point, I think she just wants to probably attack Primate Wisdom if she's not already yet done so as well. But here she's going to Scoop Up Net, okay. And then Primate Wisdom, it looks like. or no, indicating she already Primate Wisdomed. Okay. So she's going to commute the Kangaskhan back in deck for a Torchic, so definitely good. She wants to get as many of these Blazekins up and running ASAP here. But yeah, this just feels so bad. Because again, the Metal Core Barrier is going to reduce your damage by 70. The 30 reduction from the base attack, that's a minus 100 reduction. And then the Weakness Guard energy cheats her out of an additional 130. So she's only hitting for 30 damage on the Scizor VMAX. But if I do attack into it and knock it out with the Scizor VMAX here, it will take 10 damage counters. So I think ideally, if I can get Metal Saucer, Weakness Guard energy, and attack with the... Ooh, I have the other Scizor V on the bench. That would be really good. So here, maybe I didn't see the play, or maybe I don't have Metal Energy in the discard currently. Maybe that was my issue. And I do, so I think I would have rather have seen this. I mean, I think this is fine either way. Yeah, actually this is probably better because I can use Mallow and Lana after I take this damage. But I was going to say I could knock her out with the Scizor V if I had Weakness Guard energy and Metal Saucer, and avoid taking Giant Bomb damage. Oh, and here just reminding Haley, she was supposed to get an energy out of the discard pile with that attack on Blaziken. But either way here, I'm going to take some damage, but I still have Mallow and Lana, so I can heal off this damage on my Scizor VMAX here. So she's going to promote another Blaziken, and man, I'm really, streaming these Metal Core Barriers pretty decently. So here we're going to see Rare Candy Blaziken. She's going to use Lucario GX to draw some cards. She does have another Twin Energy. She has a Giant Bomb, so she's actually streaming her, key cards in this deck a little bit better. Oh, and here, apparently I forgot to take my prize from earlier in the game, it looks like. Because I believe I knocked out a Jirachi and then this previous Blaziken. So here she's just going to Marnie, it looks like. That would actually be pretty big because I do have a Mallow and Lana hand. That's kind of what I was banking on off that Professor's research here. And here it looks like she is going to go for the Marnie. So of course she's going to get a new hand of 5 while I get a hand of 4. So the big thing Haley just wants to keep finding is going to be these Twin Energies to keep attacking the rest of the game at this point. So she can at the very least get 1 Fire Energy out of the discard pile this turn. And I don't think there's anything else she can really play out of her hand from here at this point. I think she just has to attack for another just pitiful 30 damage, which feels so bad. So yeah, the Scizor's going to go up to 160 at this point. And I'm going to draw for turn. Now, unfortunately, I don't have my Mallow and Lana I had before. But here, I'm just going to... It looks like I'm thinking about playing a Boss's Orders. And just reminding Haley yet again, she does need to get that Fire Energy out of her discard pile from the attack on Blaziken. So here, I'm just thinking, do I want to... just knock out some 2 prizers to win the game because I have 4 prizes left, or do I want to just just keep going through these Blazikens basically? Like the obvious upside to just knocking out 2 prizers, I can win the game quicker, but by leaving Blazikens, it kind of leaves her board state intact, and that might enable her to come back in this game. But here I'm going to knock out that Lucario. That's going to get me 2 prizes, and it's going to remove that Giant Bomb. That was the big thing I was kind of worried about. So yeah, definitely a big turn for my deck there. Definitely not what Haley wants to see. I think that was really huge. And here she promotes the Jirachi. I forget if it's this turn or her next turn, but I remember in this game there is actually a turn where we were discussing it, and she should have promoted the Blaziken, because there's literally no trainer cards in her deck that she wants to even see anymore. Like, she literally has access to all of them. There's literally no trainer cards she would possibly want to draw because she had the Giant Bomb in hand. Okay, yeah, I think this is actually the turn. We end up switching this, I will say, after she plays her supporter, all this stuff. We basically say, oh, wait, what? Like, why did Jirachi even get promoted? There's literally no reason. You would only ever promote Blaziken in this situation. So I believe this does get changed, so don't be alarmed if that eventually does happen. Just a heads up. So yeah, guys, these games are, just for fun. We're just trying to have a good time, test out these decks. We want to make sure the games are representative of, how they actually should play out. So we don't really mind each other taking back plays and switching things around, especially when what you draw doesn't affect what your decision should be, if that makes sense. But let's see what she's going to do. It looks like she does draw a bunch of cards with Erica's Hospitality. Definitely becoming one of my, more favorite draw supporters in the post-rotation format, especially with Eternatus sort of coming into play and into the mix as well. So maybe the thought, I'll say this, maybe the incentive to promoting Jirachi is you can thin an extra card out deck with Stellar Wish to maybe better hit a Twin Energy, maybe? I'm really not sure, but so either way, she does get the Torchic off of this Quick Ball, and we do see she does have a couple Twin Energies left in deck, so she definitely wants to get one of those to attack with this turn. And I do actually want to point out, I don't think Haley is out of this game yet, believe it or not. There is a window of opportunity for her to win, but it requires me not hitting Weakness Guard energies and not being able to easily find my attachments for the rest of this game. So here, I think here is where we started to discuss, because I think she told me even like what was in her hand at one point. And so then we were like, oh, well then, yeah, there'd be no reason to promote the Jirachi because you had the Giant Bomb in hand already at the start of your turn. So no point in promoting that. Like, Blaziken just, I think, would have unequivocally been like the correct thing to promote. So here, yeah, we are going to change this around, guys. Which I do think it would have been the correct play here. But yeah, so at this point, she can just attack into the Scizor VMAX here. Get 3 prizes. And now, like I said, she does still have a window of opportunity to win, but it's slim. Especially because I have what I need to probably close out this game in my current hand. So I am going to go for a Rangoon. Going to put that reset stamp on top of my deck because I am going to Marnie, and I want to reset stamp after I Marnie to put her hand size lower. But here, I do find my Weakness Guard energy. Unfortunately, the big issue with Zacian, all of its attack cost is just metal energy. But here, so I do have to get down an additional attachment to be able to attack with it. But here, I find like literally everything I need. This is like the perfect response. And I think Haley's sort of like window of opportunity to claw herself back into this and win just kind of got taken away by finding the Metal Core Barrier and the Weakness Guard energy. So definitely kind of an unfortunate situation for her to be in. Like, theoretically, she could even bring up this Scizor V on the bench, knock it out if she wants to, and go down to 1 prize. But yeah, that would reset Zacian, and Zacian would just come back up and win. So I think this game is kind of wrapped up at this point, unfortunately. So here, Haley did drew pretty decently off the reset stamp, but the issue is, at this point, it doesn't really help her because basically anything I can do can win. Well, I shouldn't say that, because the Zacian can't attack. I would need a switching card to be able to attack back into her this next turn. But here, I think she still just plays the research, refills her hand. I think that's good. Or, I mean, we could even scoop up now, but Because right now the Scizor can't actually take a knockout. Because it's just a plain Scizor V. Not sure really what we're discussing right here though. So she is going to go for the research. That's good. Going to Primate Wisdom, it looks like. She does have a boss's orders for next turn, potentially. So if I don't have a switch and can't actually knock out this Blaziken, there is still a world where she can win this game, which is kind of incredible to think about. So you're just going to swing on this Zacian V. But here I have a Quick Ball. Gonna grab myself, I think, an Eldegoss V, because I think I have Malolana and discard pile. Oh yeah, gonna go for the Eldegoss V, so I can just use that to go for the Malolana here, and that is going to allow me to switch. So, you know, even though things were looking bad for Haley, she actually still had a chance at the late stages in this game. It was just sort of based on what I would draw into. If I drew sort of poorly, she could have called herself back in and won that one. But unfortunately for her, the Scizor VMAX deck is going to take this series. All of the healing and damage reduction stuff was just a little too much for the Blaziken deck to overcome. But either way, I hope you guys still enjoyed this series. And of course, if you do want to see the deck profiles for both of these decks, they will be posted down below in the description. But if you guys did enjoy this content today, of course, feel free to smack that like button and subscribe. And if you can, also consider supporting this channel over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up some merch from our online store, rarecandytcg.com. It would mean a lot. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.